Ya'at-e! I am YanahaKai, and this is going to be a reading on the warrior matrix. Now, if we look up the etymology of the word matrix, we're talking about the womb here. So, how are we cultivating? How are we being programmed? How are we programming? What are we creating? All these aspects of what it means to have a warrior matrix, not any matrix. And so I'm going to do a trinity using 3 different sets of cards. I got the native symbols, I got the Japanese cards that are blank, there's no images on it, just writing, and then I got the Nikkei native tarot that I made. These are all decks I made. And so we're going to start with the collective reading with a trinity formation, as I said. I don't know if I mentioned the collective part already. And then we're going to get into the 2 options, which it's been a little bit since I made them, since I selected the images for this, so I don't exactly remember what they are. But when we get to that, I'll just call them 1 and 2. I think that'll work. So, let's go with 3 of each. We're gonna look at the crown of the Trinity first. So at the top, we got bright prospects, but then we have 6 of wands in reverse with strength in the upright. Interesting energy. Interesting energy. Because we have the major arcana being strength, vitalidad, la fuerza, complemented with a sort of unsteadiness about a victory. And what does that tell us with the prospects on top of the crown? That is telling us that we may be feeling a little unsteady about our ability to be successful in the present moment within this matrix. However, we do have the strength to pull through, and there are bright prospects that we can sense from our strength. So this is saying that we gotta embrace that strength, I would say, in the consciousness. So we'll have the bottom part of the Trinity symbolize the masculine and the feminine. So on the right is the masculine, which is action-oriented, and we have journey. And in this, we have 2 journey cards in this deck, in the native symbols. This one is symbolized by a saddle that goes on a horse, and here at the Veganarchy channel, we don't necessarily, support the use of horse saddles on horses for riding. However, people in Palestine, are currently using donkeys and whatnot, whatever sort of animals and means that they can use to transport their goods. So, it's a little different out there, Anyway, so that is complemented with the 5 of Wands in the upright. And the 5 of Wands in the upright is talking about a sort of spiritual breakthrough, a spiritual conflict. Now we do have a progression of the wands cards here. So we have Bo no Roku in the reverse on the crown, but then we also have Bo no Go, the Five of Wands on the masculine there in the upright. So it's like saying through this personal journey that we are going on in our action-oriented sphere, through our actions, we are coming to these sorts of conflicting energies. However, we are challenging ourselves to have a breakthrough. Yes, and then we have Optimista, el Loco, which is the Fool, in the upright, in the Nikwe Tarot. So, yeah, we have 2 major arcana cards so far with the Nikwe Tarot, which has images on them. And those are, I'm laying them on the very top. So it's almost like saying this is like the, also kind of aligning with the crown chakra energy there. So there's a lot of indications that there's bright prospects on the horizon within the womb as we apply ourselves. And as we trust that our own journey, although it may seem kind of weird, whatever sort of journey you are going on, the listener, it is unique and it is important. And so on the feminine side, we have human life. Very interesting. So with the feminine, it's more about taking in this energy, processing things, being able to conceive, conceptualize things. And this is about the womb. This is the matrix reading. So it's almost like there's a flow going on here from bright prospects to journey to human life, right? Because that's the way I went. And then that has the 3 of Wands on top of it in the upright. Okay. So this is indicating that because of the delicacy of what it means to be a human being, to be alive, to have life within us, in this point in time, we as Natani, we as warriors, are doing what we can to carefully plan together, come together with whatever sort of opportunities that we may have to have a breakthrough. Ah, beautiful. So we at least have one feminine energy coming through from the tarot, and I'm very proud of that. Right now we have La Sacerdotista, the High Priestess, on top of the feminine energy here on the bottom left of the Trinity. This is absolutely beautiful. Misterio is the key word here on the card, symbolized by La Luna. Yeah, so what we got going on here is the intuition. We are coming more in alignment with our intuition, and through that, we as Natani are not only planning how to move forward through the matrix in the physical realm, through our own personal journey with how we share that with one another and engage on a more personal level, but also on a intuitive level. And that brings us to this underlying energy here, which we have the Hogan on the bottom of the symbol deck with the the interpretation that is written on that is permanent home. So the underlying energy is that we are on a trajectory towards creating a permanent home, towards setting up Hogans. Because actually, it's funny, we got 2 kinds of, I think bright prospects is symbolized by a teepee. I think there's 2 different kinds of teepees in this deck. Yeah. So we have 2 different homes showing up. The very first card that I pulled from the native symbols is a teepee, and we end here with the underlying energy being a Hogan. And if you don't know what a Hogan is, it's a... I'm kind of struggling on that pronunciation because it's been a little bit since I have listened to somebody talk about them. But I digress. They are made of earth, basically. Traditionally, they are made of earth. They're circular, and they're made with poles. And it's overall like being inside of the womb, being inside the matrix. That's what it is emulating. And the underlying energy on the Japanese tarot is Seihai no O, which is the King of Cups in the upright. So this is a good complementary energy to have for this type of reading, where we're tapping into the Natani matrix, the warrior matrix, and we're seeing here that this infusion of the body, mind, and soul through our intuition with the personal journey that we're on is bringing about our own strength so that we can actually actualize these bright prospects that we sense. So there's this balance here, this balance of that masculine and the feminine through that. So yes, it's like saying that the way that we as Natani are engaging as watery beings, engaging as conductive energy forces, we are being more positive in terms of our conductivity, because water is symbolic of conductivity, because we can talk to water, we're made of water. A lot of life forms on this planet need water. Water is a unifying element in the simplest of ways in terms of what we're tapping into here. So anyway, yeah, and also I'd just like to note that if you don't know this already about the Matrix series, the rain in the Matrix is symbolic of the in the film series, that is. The rain is symbolic of the code changing. Yeah. So the underlying energy on the Nikkei Tarot is Nueve de Aire. Nueve de Aire. And that is symbolic, and that is in the upright, and that is symbolic of a headdress. There's a headdress drawn on the tarot there. And this is also symbolized by Mars, because I have written down some of the planets here on the Nikkei Tarot so that I could use these as a good sort of studying tool to learn more about tarot. And I digress. So that is another masculine energy coming up there on the underlying cards there. So this has a very nice balance of masculine and feminine in a very complementary way. This energy is reminding me of the sacred matriarchs that we come from. And so what we got going on here with the headdress, it is reflecting this Natani spirit that we are tapping into today, the warrior spirit, us as warriors, how we're moving about through the womb within our own hearts. How are we navigating and experiencing these energies before we even experience them? Because a lot of us are very, very in tune. Some of us not so much. Either way, these messages come to us, and as long as we are willing to receive them, then we can act on them. The messages from the divine, from God. And so the headdress is definitely reflecting our responsibility here to do our best, even though we may not be too certain of the outcome or being victorious as of right now. Okay, so let's move on to the general reading, or excuse me, we just got done with the general reading. We're going to go on to the options. So we're going to have two options here. Option 1 is this lovely design, which I don't remember what it is. I think it might be something abstract, maybe. I don't know. This lovely design for option 1. And then you got that other lovely option, or design for option 2. So go ahead and choose whichever or both pathways that suit you. And then we shall begin. So, welcome, those who chose option 1. You got a card flying out already, which is carefree, lighthearted. And then you got constant life. So carefree, lighthearted, I think that's like a bird, maybe? Something like that. That's symbolized on the card. And then constant life is symbolized by rain. Ooh. Okay. And then you got alertness with coyote tracks. And then your underlying energy for your native symbols is good omen. Alertness is symbolized by a arrowhead. Good omen is symbolized by a bear track. Cool. I like the fact that, because I colored, when I made these cards, I just went through every single different marker that I had of some sort to give each card their own uniqueness to it. So it was putting in very minimal effort here. So, and they're not color coded for any reason other than just to make them look more unique. Like they're not categorized like the tarot would usually be. Yeah, anyway, this looks very rainbowy with the different colors that you ended up with, because you got green, orange, red, and purple. Cool. So in your crown chakra, you got carefree with the Ace of Wands in reverse, and then you got, on top of constant life, you got the Hierophant in reverse. So in your consciousness, it's with the carefree, lighthearted energy, this paired with the Ace of Wands in reverse is like saying that in the consciousness sphere, the crown chakra here, the creative flow that you could be having right now is a little bit stifled because you may be taking a bit of a carefree, lighthearted approach, maybe a little bit too much. Like, perhaps you need to get more serious about what it is that you're trying to accomplish here. And so on top of constant life, you getting the Hierophant in reverse too. Yeah, so this is kind of affirming that energy of, you know, you need to make a choice about how to progress here through this matrix that you're in as a warrior, as a Natani. So it's like saying there's more that you could possibly do. More options here that you can explore. And what is going to help you make that choice is reflecting on the fact that life is constant whether we live or whether we die. So, spirit, that is. So even though, you know, there is the threat as a warrior on this journey to protect what is sacred, well, no matter what happens, we can always come back, and we always have the ability to heal. So, with that in mind, that constant flow of life, keeping that close to your heart, you can better be a representation of the human being that God made you to be, as a Natani, as a warrior. And in your feminine sphere here, because that was in the masculine, constant life, in the feminine you got the Ten of Wands in reverse. So this is like saying that you definitely are sitting on a bit of a gold mine in terms of what you can deliver here. So, however, because of the coyote tracks coming up, it's like you've been treading lightly, but you've also been aware of your surroundings, and you've seen coyote tracks around you. You've been very alert of them because you got that paired with alertness. So because of these sorts of almost visions of threats that you have, it has stifled your ability to deliver on what you're most capable of. Now, when you're ready, though, you can choose the time here where the coyote tracks are actually just from, like, a moose or something, you know? So, or it really is from a coyote, but they're just chilling, you know? So, when you're ready, you're gonna move forward with your own alertness. You're gonna be aware of that. You're gonna get the sign, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. You're gonna know. You're gonna get the sign, the heads up. Because you got a good omen coming through, because you got different kinds of tracks here, bear tracks. So something that resonates more like bear tracks is going to be your sign that it's time to unwind what you've been holding back in this world. Now, the underlying energy here on the Japanese tarot is the Two of Cups in reverse. So this is like saying, it's like you don't really see yourself, because I'm using that in this instance where it feels like for some reason maybe you don't see yourself all that clearly right now. I don't know. And, you know, that could be blocked by, like, all these other things, right? Now, when you gain that clarity, you, in your consciousness, are going to be like Reina de Aire, which is the Nikkei tarot that comes out on top here. So, that is showing up in your consciousness. In your conscience, the top of your trinity, you are going to be more receptive when this is aligned within yourself. You're going to become more receptive of the fact that it hasn't been your time because you haven't really been totally ready for it, for whatever it is at this chapter here in the Matrix for you. And yeah, so when you're ready, you're going to be planting that egg, fertilizing it. But however, right now you're taking a carefree, lighthearted approach, potentially for good reason, right? And so over here on the masculine, for your Nikkei tarot, you got Rey de Tierra in the upright. So these are complementary energies because you have the air on the top, and in the masculine you have a fire energy. And those together definitely create a lot. There's a lot of creation and manifestation there, energetically. And then over on the feminine, you got La Reda in reverse, which is Buena Suerte. So yeah, as I've said, it's just like things have been kind of on the back burner with whatever it is that you're going through here in the Matrix right now. And so that's why the Wheel of Fortune, you feel like it's in reverse. However, it is... Oh, wow. So the underlying energy here is the Nine of Nueve de Aire here on the underlying bottom of the deck here. Got that again. So yeah, anyway, this Wheel of Fortune in reverse with alertness. This is like saying that when the time is ready, for sure, as long as you keep alert, as I've been affirming, you will be able to start turning the wheel. Whether you do it or you get other people to do it too. Since we have this chief headdress here coming up on the underlying energy. So it could be a thing that you inspire others to do, and you may not even have to do it. Or you may get help along the way, right? A lot of people may support what it is that you're working on here within the Matrix. Alright, so this concludes your reading for those who have chosen option 1, whatever sort of image it was that I chose. Ahehe, gigawaba mininoa. Yaat-e, to those who have chosen option 2. Let us look at your native symbols. So you got friendship, journey, time. And the underlying energy is protection. Ooh. So in your crown, what you're creating, essentially, what you're conceiving is friendship. The underlying, the underlying energy is protection, and that's an arrow. And friendship is symbolized by two arrows crossing. So you do have some arrow symbolism going on here within your matrix that could be a sign for you, potentially. And in your masculine, you have a horse, and that is symbolic of journey. And in the collective reading, journey ended up in the same spot here, and I mentioned that there were two different journey cards. And I consider the saddle to be more personal. I consider the horse, though, however, to be more community-based. So your journey with other people's journeys. However, the saddle is also symbolic of a short-term journey, like a short parameter of where your journey reaches, how long you're gonna be on it. Whereas the horse is symbolic of a long journey. So it could be long distance travel or a long term. And we're gonna look at the Japanese tarot that you got here. Okay, so you got for your crown. With friendship, you got 2 of Wands in the upright. So that's you needing to make a choice on which way you're gonna be investing your energy, your time, your energy, your spirit. Which way is your spirit gonna go at this fork in the road, so to speak? Which path within friendship, within your close relationships, with how you relate, with who you relate to. What way are you progressing with that? And that has El Sol, abundancia, which is the keyword there, abundance, the sun, in the upright. So there is an illumination coming, and it's going to be made obvious that which path is going to be most fruitful, or rather that no matter which path you choose, it's still going to be just as bright. And in the masculine, you got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse on top of the Journey card. So it's like saying that you're willing to walk away from this path as a Natani, as a warrior that you've invested within this matrix, this womb. You're willing to walk away from what has already begun to create something even better. And you got El Hierophante in the upright. And the Hierophant has been showing up here in these readings today for the Warrior Matrix reading. So that's unique. And that is symbolized by, or the key word there is union. Union. Okay. Yeah, this is another affirmation that the journey is definitely that you're going on right now within your matrix. It's gonna be a long journey if you start over from the beginning. But it'll be a good journey. It'll be one that will definitely bring about great change. And in the feminine, you got time here for your native symbol. And on top of that, you have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse for the Japanese tarot. Yeah, definitely. So this is really affirming that whole walking away from things that don't suit you at this point within the matrix. Updating, changing. Wow, yeah, this is very, very unique that you got this sort of choice energy going on up here on the crown chakra. So it's like saying you're ready to make that investment within yourself as a warrior with what you need to do. But you're also willing to divest, boycott. Just as everybody's doing right now with the BDS movement. Boycott, divest, sanction. That's the mantra right now. Boycott, divest, sanction. And that's going to be an interesting turn of affairs to see where that leads in the long term. This whole boycotting these brands that are the ambassadors of the Palestinian genocide. So that's going to bring about some sort of change. And it looks like more people are going towards local community with their investments. So hopefully that definitely... I'm looking forward to basically seeing how this turns out. I know that the global satanic cult want to try to twist and turn as they essentially get cornered more and more by society for being genocidal maniacs. They're getting exposed, alright. They getting exposed. Anyway, in the feminine side here of your trinity, you got Sota de Fuego, which is the Page of Wands, the Page of Fire, in the upright. So all of your cards came out in the upright, even your underlying energies here for the tarot, because I didn't do reversals for the indigenous symbols. The tarot, you got both of them in the upright, because I just felt like flipping the deck over, and in the way that I did, and we got the Three of Swords in the upright. Yeah. Well, I guess on the Nikwe Tarot, you got all of them in the upright. That is. But it's interesting, there's a lot of upright cards here. Only 2 in the reverse, which are divided between the masculine and the feminine. You got an affirmation of this matrix energy with getting the Queen of Pentacles there on the feminine side over time. So within time, you will be able to be like that of the Queen of Pentacles. Within time, as you apply your time, your presence as the Queen of Pentacles will ignite this sort of flame, this spark within you, which will give you the sort of Kundalini experience that you need to have in order to properly protect what is sacred, with having that be the energy here on the underlying, paired with the Three of Swords in the upright. So to me, when you get the Three of Swords in the upright, it's definitely about like protecting the heart, facing heartbreak head on, facing that through, well, I'd say within right here, because you have the Hermit in the upright, facing it within. And the Hermit is about being able to have that sort of wisdom and strength to continue on the journey long term. Yeah. So, I suppose your matrix is about this sort of long-term investment that you're preparing yourself for right now with wherever you are in your path. So essentially, you're reprogramming yourself right now. I think that's the underlying energy here. You're ready for a mass overload rehaul. Like, this is going to be not another chapter in your life, but you're getting ready to write another book in your life. So you're getting ready to end the first volume or the second volume or the third volume of your life and move on to the next book and the next volume. So that's definitely what's coming through. Alright, and yeah, friendships. It has to do with friendships too. With the way that you treat yourself as a friend. You know, if you could sit next to yourself, what would you, as a friend, say to you, you know? Kind of deal. That is what's coming through here. So yeah, this concludes your reading. Those that chose number 2 and or number 1, and those that have gone through the collective reading. Ahehe, gikawaba min minwa.